So leveling up the Battle Pass in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 can be a really long and boring journey, but in this video I'm going to show you how to make it as quick and as easy as possible. This video provides every single way to level up tiers faster in Season 3 of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone, so be sure to stay tuned until the end of the video as it's packed full of tips. If you want to jump to a specific part of the video, there will be timestamps in the description, so feel free to check them out. Be sure to check out my other Season 2 videos. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. So the Battle Pass works slightly differently in this game compared to previous games, so it's not a linear Battle Pass. You have 21 zones with 5 rewards in each, so 105 items in total. And you have to complete one region at a time, then progress to an adjacent region until you've completed every sector. Instead of direct Battle Pass progression, you slowly earn Battle Pass tokens which you can redeem for one reward at a time, so redeeming 5 in one sector means that sector is complete. And of course the Battle Pass content is linked between Warzone 2, Battle Royale, DMZ and Modern Warfare 2. It'll also be linked with Warzone Mobile as well when that comes out. So there's also a new premium Battle Pass for Season 3 Modern Warfare 2, and this will likely continue on throughout the further seasons, unfortunately. So for this you pay $30 if you want it, not in COD points, just in money, and it gives you about 20 or 25 tier skips depending on if you're on Xbox or PlayStation, alongside 2,500 COD points, weapon variants, skins, that kind of thing. And you also get a black cell sector, which basically you can start at a different point within the Battle Pass, so you don't have to start in the bottom left corner, you can be somewhere else. I think it will likely be in the top left hand corner, so it gives you options to unlock other stuff sooner if you want to. Now this will work much the same way as a regular Battle Pass, so if you guys are getting that, then pretty much the same thing. You've still got to earn those tier skips, although you have some at your disposal with that bundle. So first we're going to talk about the best ways to level up the Battle Pass in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone, and then we'll talk about which modes are best overall, as well as some Battle Pass boosts, that kind of thing. So starting off with Modern Warfare 2, and we'll be talking about multiplayer first. The most important factor for everything, including multiplayer, is the time played. So obviously you want to have longer matches, which means you're more efficient, because the longer you're spent in a game playing the actual game, the more time you're progressing towards actually playing and so on. That all counts, right? And when you're spending time loading in and out of matches, in the lobby and loading screen, this will waste your time and you're not actually, using that time towards anything. So longer matches are more efficient, as I say. So these are kind of modes like domination, hardpoint, ground war, invasion, those kinds of modes. But at the same time, you also need to be making sure you're doing well enough in these matches that you're earning a decent amount of XP, and herein lies the problem. So obviously people will just say, oh, it's just about playing the game, and that's the longer matches part, but there's more to it than that, and we'll talk about that now. So in terms of the XP earned, I'm sure you guys will be aware that modes like Shoot House or Shipment, they're smaller maps, you get more enemies, and therefore you're more likely to get more kills, and therefore these are great mosh pits. I think it's very unlikely that they'll be in, and I think it'll be whatever the new map is. So in Season 3 there's going to be two main normal multiplayer maps that are the Black Gold and Peleo's Lighthouse. Now the Black Gold one is like a night vision one where you have to use night vision goggles. It's quite dark. I think this will be quite annoying. It's obviously a cool variant and it's a good thing that they've introduced, but I think it will actually in practice be quite annoying, so I don't think people will like playing on that, but I might be wrong. The other one is Peleo's Lighthouse, and this is a remake, I believe, of the estate map from Modern Warfare 2, so this will be a great one. People will love this, I'm sure. It's not like the best map ever made, but it's pretty decent, especially with longer range weapons. So this will probably be the 24/7 mosh pit between those two maps, so if it's decent, obviously I'd highly recommend going on to that if you can get a decent number of kills. In a few weeks afterwards there'll be Shipment and Shoot House coming out, so obviously make use of that, and then there'll be other maps and so on, but for now those are the maps I would recommend. So if there's no other good 24/7 mosh pits that you like, then play longer games with objectives or high XP, so ones like I say, like domination, hardpoint, ground war, those kinds of modes. If they are offering any hardcore versions of those modes, even better. Definitely try to combine those if you can, although quite often they only have hardcore with a playlist for all the other modes and maps, so it's not very helpful. But if they have something more specific in hardcore, then definitely go for that, as that's the best because you get more kills and therefore more XP. What about your class setup? Well, there's a few things you're going to want to put onto it that will actually help you get more XP and therefore earn those Battle Pass tiers faster, and so let's talk through those now. So first of all, we've got the decoy grenades. You want to equip them onto your class and use them every time you spawn in. You could also put on the extra tacticals perk so that you get 3 instead of 2, and that will help you get even more XP from these. So basically, if you throw them and an enemy nearby to it dies, you get XP and an assist, and this can give you several thousand extra XP at the end of the game just by using them, so it's highly worth it. Pop them on, keep chucking them into areas that you think people will be near, and therefore you'll get loads of decoy assists, lots of XP, especially on small maps like Shipment, but any map is good. Just chuck it somewhere popular, keep chucking them around as much as you can, and as well as getting kills and things, that will really help to rack up even more XP. For the lethals, you're going to want to put on something like a Semtex, Thermite, C4, something like that. Throwing those around can also be good if you can't quite reach an enemy, or something's going to be there but you're going to find it difficult to shoot at them, or if they're camping or something, just chuck that in to get an easy kill. With your field upgrade, you can put on the portable radar, smoke airdrop, suppression mine, that kind of thing. The DDoS can be also quite good because it gives you lots of XP and you earn it quite quickly, so that's become one of my favourites. And ideally you want to toggle from kill streaks to score streaks so that you earn score towards them by doing objectives rather than just just getting kills. And you want to put on ones like the UAV and then counter UAV and then another one such as a cruise missile, sentry or SAE or VTOL. You could even put on an advanced UAV if you think you're going to get it, up to you. But I think those are quite useful just to help you get lots of XP on top of that, because kill streaks will get you a lot of XP. UAV from helping you find enemies, but other more lethal ones will help you get actual XP, especially sentry is really good if you just pop it somewhere and it's looking at a really popular area of the map. People keep running past, you'll get lots of XP from that, which is really, really good, and it all adds up. Now, what are my tips for actually doing well in multiplayer? Well, the first thing, obviously, you need to have a good class, so make sure it's a weapon you've leveled up and that you're happy with, you've got a decent class setup on, obviously using the stuff we mentioned above, but in terms of the actual loadout attachments for that weapon as well. And if you need to level up your weapons faster, or you want some decent attachments, check out my weapon XP guides or best class setups via the card on the screen and links in the description. Also, make sure you're not only using your kill streaks, equipment and field upgrades, but make sure you're destroying others as well. So if you see any in the sky, take it down. Might be good to put on a launcher as a secondary or something to take it down. So kill streaks in the sky, equipment that's on the ground, or field upgrades as well. This all counts for XP and can be easily overlooked, but don't do so because obviously it's to your detriment. Now, a massive thing is you want to go for the objective as much as you can and really push for it. So if there are kill confirmed tags, keep going to get them. If there are grind tags, go and get them. Domination flags, really good. Keep capping them, or hard points, keep jumping onto them. Get quite defensive, and it really helps to get a ton of XP. That's where most of your XP is going to come from. So the objective will make or break how well you do in the game. So definitely make sure you're focusing on that. If it's something quite objective-y like domination or hard point where you've got to sit on an area, make sure you've got perks that are geared up to you taking lethal damage or tactical sort of damage. Make sure you've got decent amount of firepower from both your weapons, and also maybe a secondary like a launcher or some decent lethal equipment, something like that. And obviously just get as many kills as you can along the way, obviously. Another main thing is to make sure you're doing the challenges, because challenges bring with it a lot of XP as well. The more challenges you do, the more XP you get, and this all adds up as well on top of everything else. So we've got the daily challenges, which are the main type right now. There's 3 a day plus a bonus one as well, so make sure you're doing that. You've also got the camo challenges like the polyatomic and Orion camos, and again, if you want help with those, feel free to check out the playlist via the card on the screen or link in the description for many camo guides and gold gun guides. There are also other challenges, so if you get up to certain levels, then you'll get calling card challenges like get a certain number of kills with a weapon or do this or do that, so make sure you're going for those as well. And finally, we get sort of the seasonal event challenges, like we had the Path of the Ronin ones for season 2, we've got another one coming for season 3, so just make sure you're doing those. And when you're doing these challenges, make sure to overlap them as much as you can to get more XP. So if you need to like get a camo challenge done with your weapon, and you also need to do a daily challenge that both involves assault rifles, and maybe there's also one that says get a certain number of kills with your calling card challenge, make sure you're overlapping them all to get as much XP as you can, and it really helps to add another bonus on top. So that's it for multiplayer. Let's talk about co-op, then we'll talk about Warzone, Battle Royale and DMZ, some battle pass booths, and then which method is best overall. So for co-op, what I've been saying for a while is that the Defender Mount Zaya, low profile, high ground, those are all good ones, but the battle pass earn rate is variable. So for a 24-minute game, I earned about 50 to 60% of a battle pass token, meaning it would take about 40 minutes per tier. I'd recommend trying to complete the match as quickly as possible if you play co-op, so that the XP you earn, which is roughly a set amount, is higher per minute played, therefore a faster XP earn rate and more battle pass progression. So my tips for co-op: obviously cooperate with teammates, resupply ammo on a regular basis, pick up good floor loot, buy kill streaks like cruise missiles, sentry turrets, that kind of thing, buy reinforcement troops, armor boxes, and take cover when you need, and go for the objective as much as you can. So for example, in Mount Zaya, defend each zone as best you can and wipe out enemies quickly to prevent getting overrun. Just to let you guys know, later in season 3 there'll be a new mission, which is Defender Hafid Port. I imagine this might be quite a decent one as well, so when it comes out, I think in season 3 Reloaded, we will talk about it, see if it's useful, and obviously I'll let you guys know if it's worth doing. Obviously, if anyone does it while watching this video, feel free to let us know what you think of it. But that's it for Modern Warfare 2. Let's move on to Warzone. So just to let you guys know before we get into the main tips for Warzone, there is actually a glitch in Warzone 2 right now. It started in season 2, I believe, and it will be likely staying until at least season 3, if not beyond. And this is basically where you can go AFK, not playing, and earn at least 2+ battle pass tokens per hour with 0 effort. If you want to do that, all you have to do is just go AFK, but if you want to check out my guide for how to do that properly, I'll leave a card on screen and there'll be a link in the description as well for how to do this AFK. It's really easy, and if you're going out for a bit or you're just doing some kind of jobs or something, it might be worth having on in the background doing it. So would highly recommend making use of that if you think that'd be useful for you. Obviously the time played is an important factor too in Warzone, so you want to be playing longer matches which are more efficient, but obviously this is more difficult to do in Warzone because you don't determine the length of the match as much. It's more about just how long you're in the match for. You also need to be doing well in these matches too to earn a lot more XP. So we'll talk about how to get more time played and XP earned in just a minute. So it's all to do with how to do well in the matches. So obviously in Warzone you want a good class. Again, if you need to level up weapons or get better attachments, check out my guides for that. You also want to be doing more looting, so opening lots of loot crates. This will get you more money, which helps to buy more equipment, self-revives, UAV, loadouts, armor, ammo boxes, that kind of thing. But it also gives you more XP overall. And you also want to open loot boxes, run over bodies of dead enemies, find piles of cash as floor loot. So for example on top of roofs or in unsearched rooms, that kind of thing. You also want to be getting more kills, so make sure you've obviously got a decent class. Use your mini-map, heartbeat sensor, compass, surrounding sounds, that kind of thing to find more enemies when you're playing. A big thing is you want to be doing lots of contracts. So Safecracker and Intel are the best, but there is also Most Wanted, which is pretty decent. We'll talk about that in a minute. So you want to try to go between them fast with a helicopter and ATV to get these contracts done. So for the contracts, Safecracker, you need to open 3 safes. Obviously just get between the safes as fast as you can. With the Intel, you've got to find some Intel on the laptop, bring it somewhere to upload it. You might need a teammate with you. Just get over there without dying. You've got to travel quite a bit, so just be aware of that, but there is better for XP overall. And then you've got the Most Wanted contract. Everyone will be highlighted that you are sort of Most Wanted player, but the good thing is if you open loot boxes, this will actually reduce the timer for how long you have to live. I think it's 3 minutes, but every time you open a loot box it's at least 10 seconds. So if you open 6, that's like a minute gone already. And obviously if you've got other teammates, they'll likely be opening boxes as well, so you get it done incredibly fast with the Most Wanted contract. So that's a really good way of doing it as well, and you get I think at least 5,000 XP for that, obviously more if you've got double XP. But yeah, so that's really good. Another thing is just to make sure you're doing these strongholds. So these are areas with lots of AI and they give you easy XP, but they can be kind of tough. The rewards, you get good loot, full loadout, that kind of thing, and this is new to Warzone 2 obviously. Now only about 3 will spawn at any one time, so it won't be too many of them, but definitely worth going for it if you're near one. Also you want to obviously make sure you're surviving for longer, so be careful and safe. Don't run and gun too much, otherwise dying sooner will mean you exit the game quicker, you get a smaller amount of time played and XP earned, and therefore less tier progression overall. So surviving longer means you'll place higher in matches, you'll get more XP, more time played, and therefore faster progression of the battle pass. Obviously for normal Warzone Battle Royale, it's just how long you survive relative to everyone else, and that's for both the main Al Mazrah map and Ashika Island Resurgence. But for Plunder, when that comes into the game, it will obviously be about the cash collected, so obviously you need to go and collect more cash. One other thing to mention is that for the pre-game lobby, don't forget that these pre-game lobby kills count towards XP and weapon XP, so definitely get as many kills as you can in that lobby. It racks up, you know, let's if you get 5 kills, that's at least 500 XP if not more, and that will count obviously towards your bonus. It all helps, so definitely make the most of that before you load in. I think finally I'm going to talk about the best game modes for Battle Royale. So obviously we've got the main Battle Royale variants like quads, duos, trios, whatever, and Ashika Island Resurgence are the only type that are in the game right now. With Season 3 there's also the Al Mazrah Resurgence, so it's like a Resurgence mode from Ashika Island but on Al Mazrah, so a massive version of Resurgence. Pretty cool. I don't know if they've done that before, but it'd be good to try it out. I highly recommend it as there'll be lots more enemies and more kill opportunities. There's more abilities to respawn, get custom loadouts, and it's much better for leveling up your weapons. So definitely make the most of that while it's around. Later on, also in Season 3, there'll be Plunder returning, like I say. So we've not had this since Warzone 1, which is the best mode for leveling up the Battle Pass, so I'll make a separate guide for that when it comes out, because that will be a really good way to level up the Battle Pass. It's a shame it will take until mid-Season 3 before we even get Plunder mode, but there we go. And also Warzone Ranked will likely be challenging but quite good for XP as well, so that will be coming out probably about Season 3 reloaded, so not sure exactly what that will entail, but like I say, it will be challenging but good for XP. Finally, don't forget to make sure you do the daily challenges, the camo challenges, the calling card challenges, and make sure you overlap all of these challenges to get more XP more quickly, like we said for multiplayer. Alright, moving on. So as for Warzone DMZ, this is obviously a new mode to Warzone 2. It involves spawning in, looting, doing objectives, killing enemies, and exfilling. It has more realism elements built into it, so for example, if you bring a weapon into DMZ and die without exfilling, you'll lose that weapon and you have to pick it up as floor loot, so this is a great way to earn Battle Pass tiers faster. For about 15 minutes of gameplay, without even exfilling, you get at least 50% of a Battle Pass token, so you get probably, I would say, at least 1 to 2 tokens per hour, if not more, so it's pretty good for DMZ gameplay. DMZ is one of the better ways to level up the Battle Pass for sure, as long as you're actually doing objectives and contracts and stuff, and also doing the contract missions. Also bear in mind that longer matches mean less time not in the game, so therefore it's more efficient. So longer matches like DMZ are good as long as you don't die quite quickly. My tips for DMZ: play with other teammates, ideally friends you can communicate with. Don't run and gun, otherwise you'll die easily. Try to boost the XP earned from each aspect of the game, so like the players revived, keep being the one that revives if you can. Open as many supply drops as you can, loot as much as you can, get as many AI kills, obviously. Looting both equipment, stuff found, and also open lots of loot boxes, because looting itself gives you XP and weapon XP too. And also more points of interest on the map. The more you visit, the more XP you'll get, so keep driving around if you can to do more contracts. Take up as much space as you can on the map. Make sure you're doing little side missions, things like UAV towers, capture missile sites. They don't take long at all, they're not that difficult, but they give you lots of XP and they can give you rewards as well, so definitely make sure you're going for those every time you see one. It's really useful. Also, you can pick up valuables, sell them as well, but one of the main things is obviously to exfil, so that's a big boost for your XP, so make sure you're exfilling at the end of the game. And if you think you're going to die, it might be better to try and exfil rather than just dying, otherwise you don't get that boost and the other rewards associated with living longer and exfilling. Now, in terms of boosts, there are a few. So obviously from time to time we get double battle pass XP tokens, so if you get any of those, obviously make sure to use them wisely. Otherwise, the main other way is that at least once every season there'll be double battle pass XP weekends, and so obviously just make use of these. Make sure that if you are busy around that time, that once you start the weekend you can play as much as you can, as it makes much more sense to cram in a few hours during that double battle pass XP weekend rather than another time when it's only going to have half the progression rate. So definitely try and fit your time around it so that you can get on those weekends. That's the main boost really. And obviously double XP tokens themselves don't count towards helping with the battle pass earn rate, so don't fall for the trap of using those. They won't help for this. It's only core XP or battle pass XP, but not anything else. And so unfortunately not a lot of additional boosts, but it's still something. And then finally, which games and modes are best? Well, obviously it depends on how well you do in each mode. Longer matches are better than shorter ones if you're getting a decent amount of XP. Generally the best modes in my opinion are, for Modern Warfare 2 you've got the ground war, shoot house, or close quarters combat map, mosh pits, that kind of thing. So it might be something like the lighthouse map, depending on how that plays. Co-op's okay as too, as long as you get through the missions fast. It's not about doing well, it's just getting through as quickly as possible. And Warzone is great, probably better than multiplayer, I would say. DMZ and Battle Royale are both pretty good. I would say it's probably much easier to do well in DMZ because there's less variability from game to game. But if you're playing Battle Royale, as long as you're getting lots of kills, looting contracts, surviving longer to get a placement bonus, that kind of thing, you'll do very well. Or if you're playing Resurgence, obviously just get as many kills as you can. I'm sure you do very well as well. But like I said, I think DMZ seems one of the best ways in Warzone to level up the battle pass at the moment in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. But if there's any changes to these tips, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Hope you found this useful. Check out my other Season 2 guides via the cards on screen and links in the description. If you found this video useful, be sure to leave a like so other people can find the video too, and feel free to subscribe by clicking the bell icon to stay up to date with all my latest Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone videos. Thank you so much for watching, hope you found it useful, and I'll see you guys all on the next one.